The reason people don't read books isn't because they don't know how. They picked up a book once, read like half a page, said meh, and called it a day. The way great readers manage to go through multiple books every month is by following actual rules of reading. Applying these rules will have you reading circles around your past self, transforming you into a great learner. Okay, let's get started. Here are 10 rules of reading. Number 1. Find the reason you need to read. Reading has a purpose, even if it's just for entertainment, so find yours. You have no idea why you're angry in the morning? Read a book about it. You don't know how to handle stress at work? Read a book about it. Your way of being feels awkward? Read a book about it. Every cool person you know is talking about a topic that you have zero knowledge on? You know what we're gonna say. Read a book about it. When you find the reason you read, you'll find it easier to pick up a book. Number 2. Make it easy to read. If you place a book in your bathroom and read a couple of pages every time you take a dump, you can finish a book in like a month, okay? You're turning shit into knowledge here. If you're commuting to work, keep a book in your bag. This way you can make a habit of reading all the time. Making books accessible is the first of many steps in the right direction. When you can easily grab one and start making slow progress, over time you'll find yourself curled up on the sofa with a book, a cup of coffee, and eagerly turning each page. Number 3. Start with good books. There are millions of books out there, most of them are bad or recycled. Still, that leaves you with a ton of really good books on any kind of topic. Whichever your interest is, you can find the top 5 books on that topic online and start with those. At the same time, if you pick a book and it's boring as hell or the author drags the same idea out for 18 chapters, it's totally fine to just toss it aside. Life is simply too short to read a bad book. Even if the book comes highly recommended and you're still not that into it, best to just tap out. Finding the perfect book will happen, and it may take time, Aluxers, but once you read the one, you'll wish you had started looking for it sooner. And we've got some wonderful suggestions to help you find something to read that you'll gain value from. Check out our video, 10 books you wish you had when you were younger. Number 4. Take notes. A great way to really absorb what you're reading is to make notes. If it's your book and you don't mind scribbling it up, highlight sections that were important to you and then go back and read them again when you're ready. If it's not your book and you're using an e-reader, go back to the basics and make some notes. Write down what stood out, what you didn't understand, and what you'd like to revisit. The purpose of the book is for you to learn, so whatever helps you to absorb the knowledge, go for it. Number 5. Find something applicable. The absolute best way to use a book is to make a note when you find something useful and use it immediately in your life. Otherwise, Aluxers, you're simply going to forget about it, and what's the point of that? Read with the purpose of growing, for the desire to gain new perspectives, to see different points of view and expand your knowledge. Once you read something that triggers a reaction in you, act on it. Number 6. Read the same book multiple times. It's better to read a good book 10 times than to read 10 average books. If a book just resonates with you, then each time you read it, you're going to discover something different. As Medium reported, don't underestimate the value of reading any book more than once. A second read contains so many hidden benefits. You may not know what those benefits will be, but that doesn't mean it's not worth giving any book a second read. They list several reasons why reading a book more than once is so beneficial, including the likelihood of remembering the information. You'll catch things you missed the first time, you're more likely to take action, and the impact of what you read lasts longer. Number 7. You don't have to finish a book to have read it. Skimming through a book and reading what's interesting to you is not cheating. That's why you've got chapters. Of course, this only applies to nonfiction because it would be kinda tricky to apply this to a story. You know, one minute the character's running through fields of lavender, skip a few chapters, and the next minute they're locked up in a jail cell screaming innocence. Yeah, kinda hard to follow. Another way to deduce whether you're going to forge forward with a book is to get an overview of the book. Try reading it for a few minutes, and if it still isn't for you, move on to the next page or chapter. If it still doesn't work for you, but you think it might be good in the future, save it until you're ready to give it another go. And on that note, number 8, don't speed read. Aluxers, true speed reading the way they sell it in infomercials isn't a thing. As explained by Elizabeth Schotter, a cognitive scientist at the University of South Florida on Live Science, speed reading is not actually possible. She further adds, the scientific community is pretty consistent in our skepticism about speed reading. Someone who is claiming to help people speed read is usually making money off those claims. And while some may read faster than others, skimming is not really going to fully relay the information, nor will it help you to retain much. It's really more useful for finding keywords and ideas you need to learn more about. So if you're only going to read a few chapters of a book, take it slow, absorb the words, and enjoy the few minutes of escapism you're afforded inside that book. Number 9. Read with an open mind. Oprah Winfrey once said, "Reading is a way for me to expand my mind, open my eyes, and fill up my heart." Aluxers, when you open a book, the aim of the book is to take its reader on a journey. It's meant to make you see things from different perspectives, to absorb unique ways of dealing with situations, and discover intriguing personalities and interpersonal relationships between the pages. To give an example we all know, The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. The story blurred fact and fiction and caused friends and families to have some in-depth discussions and differing opinions about the novel. Is the Holy Grail a bloodline or a chalice? Were Jesus and Mary Magdalene married? Was Mary Magdalene supposed to be the head of the Christian church? And let's take a non-fiction example. How about Kevin Trudeau's natural cures they don't want you to know about? In this book, you'll hear about how AIDS is not real. The sun doesn't cause cancer, and any prescribed medication is poison. There's more, but whether you agree or disagree with his theories, it would have made for some interesting discussions. Number 10. Don't judge a book by its cover. Seriously, because you never know what beautiful words lay behind it. It doesn't matter what genre of book you're considering, whether it's a literary fiction, a biography, an autobiography, a memoir, or self-help. The book is about what's written inside of the cover. That's what's important. And here's a story you'd love if you're in agreement with that statement. As reported on CBC, there's a bookshop giving new meaning to mystery novels. Troubadour Books and Records in Ottawa have wrapped many of their novels in brown paper and described the book using just a few words. As explained by shop owner Tom Lee, the concept is to let people make more interesting decisions on the books they read and maybe force themselves to ask the question, why do I like the books that I usually read? He further explains it's like going on a blind date with a book, and we love that explanation. Okay, Aluxers, are you an avid reader? If so, what book can you recommend to other Aluxers? Let's create a beautiful reading community among us. And for sticking with us until the end, you know you're getting a bonus rule for reading. Dedicate some time and space to reading. If there's a space that you love in your home, use that area to read. If you're happy, comfortable, and in a good place, the likelihood of you sticking to your reading is far higher. Give yourself the best chance to become a book lover and reap the benefits in the long run. Okay, Aluxers, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed today's video. Please show your appreciation by leaving us a like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification to be alerted to new videos daily.